Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to the next movie review, and today I'll be reviewing of the comedy parody film from 1984, and that is of Top Secret. So excited I hit my hat. Top Secret released from 1984, and it stars Val Kilmer, and pretty much in his debut role. And you have the directors of Airplane doing this film. And you don't see Val Kilmer do comedies like this. For his debut, he did a good job in this film. Because I'm a fan of Val Kilmer. He's a great actor. And just sadly what happened with his throat cancer. And seeing how he was in Top Gun Maverick, though. Granted, it was a great scene between him and Tom Cruise, right? Who's the better pilot, you or me? This is a nice moment. Let's not ruin it. Very heartfelt scene there. But I enjoy Val Kilmer though. I mean, Tombstone. I think it's my favorite role of his. To me, I think he never got nominated for Best Supporting Actor in that film. I'm sorry, he should have been nominated and let alone won, because he did a great job as Doc Holliday in Tombstone. To me, he was robbed of an Oscar for that. But Batman Forever, later starred Batman Forever, which, by the way, really enough, speaking of Batman Forever, Michael Gough is in this, who plays Alfred in all four of Tim Burton / Joel Schumacher Batman movies. So it was funny, like, before they did Batman and Robin, they were in this film together, which is funny enough, though. So yeah, before Batman Forever, Michael Gough and Val Kilmer were as Batman and Alfred. They were in this film. But also with Val Kilmer, like I said, but with of course, with Iceman from Top Gun, just many films. Val Kilmer has always been a good actor. But yeah, so yeah, you got him starring with the guys who did Airplane. And when the film came out, it wasn't quite well received like Airplane was, although it didn't do well at the box office, I would say. It was well received by critics. I think Roger Ebert gave this like 3.5 out of stars, I think. It does have a 76% of Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.2 in IMDb. So yeah, critics and audiences like the movie today. But I guess back when it came out, it didn't do as well. It wasn't that big of a hit like it was with Airplane. So, but the thing is, I still enjoy this film. Now, granted, there is some jokes I do think doesn't work though, but majority of the jokes weighs out more than the lesser funny jokes, though. Like, there are more pros than cons, I would say. I think the directors, once again, Jim Abrams, which sadly enough he passed away last year, which I didn't know about, though. Otherwise, I would have put him in my memorial list, though. But yeah, Jim Abrams, David Zucker, and Jerry Zucker, once again coming back to direct. Of course, with David Zucker, he would do Scary Movie 3, 4, 5. I think he did 5, yeah. I hated that one, but he did Scary Movie 3 and 4. And then Jerry Zucker, he later go on to direct Ghost. And Jim Abrams will also have to go on to do other comedies, one including Ruthless People, with Danny DeVito, Judge Reinhold, Bette Midler. So they're all going to do much films after this, of course. And then decent recognizable people in the cast. Like I said, not only stars Val Kilmer, but you have Michael Gough in this. Michael Gough is in this. You have Lucy Gutteridge, and then you got Omar Sharif, who was starred in Lawrence of Arabia. I know he was in that film Hildegardo with Viggo Mortensen. He's also He's also passed away also too as well back in 2015. And you get Peter Cushing, and Peter Cushing stars in one scene in this film. Peter Cushing from the from the old Dracula films, of course. Grand Moff Tarkin from the first Star Wars film. Peter Cushing. So a couple of recognizable faces in this. And plot wise, I mean, it's mostly parody of a World War II type of movie, although it does not take place in the 30s because some other modern cars in this. But it's kind of like an 80s modern take on World War II stuff. I mean, of course, there's other stuff like gags that they parry from, like one scene from Blue Lagoon, and then of course you get other like musical numbers that are in this. So it's kind of a little more of an 80s modern World War II with a World War II twist in it. So Val Kilmer plays a guy named Nick Rivers. He's a singer, and he is sent to East Germany to perform. But he was kind of like a ploy, right, from the Germans, right? So he's being used as a diversion, basically, as a distraction from the Germans' plan to They want to reunite the West Germany, and they want to have Michael Gough, who is a professor, to create this type of weapon, this magnetic weapon for it's what the name is, Polaris naval mine. It's a device that can destroy NATO submarines fleets, right? That's what it is. Kind of like it's like a magnet, right? Which in one scene when Val Kilmer accidentally opens the device, turns it on, pulls a whole submarine through the building, like a big magnet. So, and also you do get Val Kilmer. He does a lot of singing and dancing in this, so he does it all on his own. I think he does good for the singing and dancing. Like, for instance, at this ball, right, and which he assumes that because the announcer saying is would point to this one ambassador looking guy, but Val Kilmer thinks it's him, so he goes up there instead of the guy. And he does good like singing. He's dancing. Of course, he's dancing to singing the song of the Tutti Frutti. So he's just doing all this dancing, getting some moves on, and everyone's enjoying it. His performance. And the lead guy, the lead German, we could say he's the lead German. Who's the mastermind of this reunification? That's what he is. That's what he's doing. Reunification. And there are jokes that I do find that I did get chuckles out of. I do. Although there is some I don't. For instance, one joke I didn't think was kind of not funny though, but like when Omar Sharif, he's going to talk to this guy. He's trying to get some info, right? So in order to not look so suspicious when they're talking, right, whenever Germans are coming by, he pulls like these prank jokes on Omar Sharif, right, with the flour and the powder. I'm like, kind of not funny. Well, which leads to one certain thing, which leads to a joke I do think is funny with Val Kilmer, because there's a point where he's at this opera house, right, and he sees like a guy kind of like attacking Lucy Gutteridge, and he goes and attacks the guy, and it puts his face off to the guy's face like this, right, like this, and like kind of smushing his face. But when he takes his hand off, the guy's face is still smushed like. I did chuckle out how the way it is. Or the opening. I forgot to mention the opening of the film. It kind of takes place where where you have people who are surfing, and they have these what was it? You go to the shooting range, you know, where they yell pull, and they shoot those plates up in the sky. You shoot them down, and then you was yell pull, or they do the same thing with ducks, I think. But it's called what was it called it was like type of shooting game. I know what it is though. I just forget the name is though. I'm sure someone's in the comments gonna let me know what it is though, but. I know what the sport is though, but it said they said to do it with that though, but they also to do it while surfing as well, and like everyone then eventually everyone's getting in on the surfing and the shooting, right? And it's kind of like what was like taking on like it was on Beach Boys and stuff, Beach Boys type of song. And then that's when we introduced Val Kilmer's character Nick Rivers. He's on the train with his manager, I think, and there's a funny okay. Oh yeah, here's one of the other jokes I thought I didn't think was not kind of funny because they stop at the platform and the Germans question him, and then when the Germans about to turn away, then Val Kilmer says something like kind of like in German because he's trying to learn German, and the guy is asking, "What did you say?" While holding the gun at him and Val Kilmer's like, "Well, how did the joke go?" What was the sentence he said? It didn't make sense though. He's like, what did you say? And Val Kilmer says, I put his name on the Montgomery Ward mailing list. I never understood what that meant. I put his name on the Montgomery Ward mailing list. I have no idea what that joke meant. So there are some jokes in here I did think that was kind of like, kind of not funny, like that kind of joke, or because I didn't understand what it meant. And then like the whole thing with Omar Sharif and the blind guy who's trying to give him info, and by not avoiding suspicious, he pulls these pranks on him. So, but back when they're on the train, and this one I did think I think was funny. As the train, we think as the train is moving forward, but it's the whole platform that was moving. So it gave us the illusion thinking that the train was moving, but actually it was the whole platform that was moving. And the guy is like running after her, and he's like running after this tree and stuff like. But okay, that I did find it was good. Like, oh, make I say the train is moving, but it was actually the platform the actual platform was moving. Oh, like the platform was on wheels, right? So that I did chuckle out of it too, but like I said, then the whole thing with the ball where he meets Lucy Gutteridge, but him singing, he's dancing. Like I said, he handles it very well. And then after which he gets put in prison though, and there are times where he tries to escape through these vents, but he ends up circling back into the same cell. But Lucy Gutteridge ends up helping him skateboard. But before that, he ends up in another cell that's where he meets Michael Gough's character, who is Lucy Gutteridge's father, and tells about the weapon he's been building for the Germans. But eventually Lucy helps him escape, and then he goes to see this Swedish bookstore. Goes to this bookstore, the Swedish bookstore keeper, and it's Peter Cushing. And we think like the whole thing where he's looking at this big magnifying glass. We think it looked like, mixes, how when you look at a big magnifying glass and where you think it makes your eye look bigger in the image, right? He puts the magnifying glass down, and his eye is actually like that. It's huge, his left eye. I'm like, okay. And it's good makeup effects too. Make good prosthetic makeup effects on Peter Cushing though. But he's only in it for this one scene where he tells them to give him it, where she gives Lucy info, right? They're talking in subtitles, and the whole thing where they're talking going forward, and Peter Cushing is having Val Kilmer to put these books on these top shelves where he can't reach it. It's actually done in reverse. So okay, that's a good way to showcase like okay, that whole thing is done in reverse. And then that was well played. Or another joke I thought was funny too, where where there's this telephone that's like sitting right here in this. Yeah, this is the screen, right? And the telephone is sitting right here, right in front of the camera, like so, and it's like this big, right? We think it because it's up close, right? It makes it look like it's a huge telephone when it's up close, right? No, actually, the lead German guy, he walks up to it and it's actually that big. He picks the whole big, the receiver and holds it to his ear. So, give us the illusion that okay, so they're far back, right? And so the phone right here looks like it's huge because it's up close, right? No, it's actually that big of a telephone because when the lead German walks up to it, it's actually that size, a huge telephone. So that I gotta laugh out of that. And one thing lead to another where, Val Kilmer and Lucy Gutteridge, they meet with the French. They go and meet with the French resistance, and I like these characters too. Like two of these characters right here on the back right here. This guy right here, his name is Deja Vu, and the other guy right here, his name is Chocolate Mousse. And I actually I like these characters here. I mean, especially Chocolate Mousse, he does some pretty badass moments where okay, they're getting shot at, right? And first off, the whole gag is where they're all the Val Kilmer and everyone else in the building, they're all just breaking windows. Like, you know how the windows have those square things, right, for windows, right? Each and every guy is breaking each piece of the window, or the point where Val Kilmer, where he's breaking each window, but it's tic-tac-toe. So that's always good because everyone has to have a break. Each one has to break a piece of window, and when Val Kilmer does it, he's doing tic-tac-toe. Each broken piece of glass resembles the O with the X, right, like tic-tac-toe. And with Lucy Gutteridge, she gives us backstory where she would. This is where we get to take the parody of Blue Lagoon, and so like she was stuck on the island with this guy. This guy, and he, well, she thought she was dead, but he left her. Well, he was rescued, but he left her on the island for quite a bit more. But the whole time she thought she was dead, and so but he's the leader of the resistance, and so they give this plan where they're at the Germans' castle. They have to get a plan where Val Kilmer, Deja Vu, and Chocolate Mousse, which is this scene right here. This scene right here, where Deja Vu, or was it Chocolate Mousse? They get the grappling hook, right? They throw it up, and they read the scene right where they're all screaming and they run away, but it's just actually the grappling hook just falling right in their spot, and then while Lucy's supposed to stay behind with the car, and then what's his name? The guy. The guy who was Lucy Gutteridge's supposed boyfriend from Blue Lagoon. Nigel, that's his name, is Nigel. Nigel goes with this other guy and is supposed to help turn off the power, right? And they get inside a cow costume. Now, of course, which makes sense. Like the outside shots of where it's an actual, they're in the cow costume, but when it's outside, right, like the wide open shots, it's an actual cow. So they use a real cow to make it think like it's them in the costume, though. But they use a real cow for the outside shots, but inside they're in the fake cow, though. But they're inside. So, and then you get where Nigel, they're gonna turn on the power, and there's this bull, and basically Nigel gets butt fucked basically by the bull. And the bull comes up from behind him, right? And you have the Jaws music playing, you know, dun 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 dun. That was funny too. Which when did they get the rights to that? Because this was Paramount, so and well Jaws was Universal, so they probably had to borrow that song, the theme for 20 seconds for that moment there. But we see that Nigel gets butt fucked in. And then when he meets him again, which turns out he's the traitor. He's the traitor in the group. And we meet with Lucy. He's like walking funny because, yeah, he just got ass raped by a bull. And then you get another funny gag where Deja Vu gets into this fight with this German soldier, where he has the German soldier in it like this, and the next scene, and now Deja Vu, it's the reverse role. Now Deja Vu, he's the one who's getting choked out. And I like there's these barbed wires that are like ropes, right? It's like in the shape of a wrestling ring, right? It's square, it's like a wrestling ring. And then Chocolate Mousse comes in, and he goes and tags him, sends him into the ring, and he does like, bounce on on those ropes like you see in wrestling. And Chocolate Mousse does just a high jump kick and just the jump kicks the guy. And he's like, "Vive la France!" That was funny too. Even with the moment when they were getting shot at the house. I mean, he starts shooting like there's a bunch of German soldiers like holding each one of the good guys, the resistance. Chocolate Mousse hits his Tommy gun, shoots, bang, 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 and then all the other German soldiers, they just also just drop dead because he hits all of them. Or a moment where he goes and grabs a big hulking cannon and starts blasting the Germans. So yeah, it's funny though, but at the same time, it makes Chocolate Mousse a badass. And then he goes and does like a wrestling move because it's like a wrestling ring with the barbed wires. Does a high jump kick and just goes, "Vive la France!" So other than the guy who played Chocolate Mousse, I think he did a good job as well. The guy's name, Eddie Tego. Eddie Tego, yeah. Let's see what ways. Oh yeah, he was in Pink Floyd The Wall. I reviewed that recently, but I didn't know much about the guy, so. But he was in Pink Floyd The Wall. I just reviewed that movie not that long ago. He didn't go on to do much, actually, sad to say, though. Yeah, he didn't do much. So, but I think he did a good job. He was funny too, and his character a little bit badass too. And so, or in the moment where they're in this diner, it's kind of like in this supposedly like in the vein of those 60s, 70s era type diners, like in Happy Days. Because out of the way the customers are dressed, right? And Val Kilmer does another little song and dance. We're like dragging on the shake the rug, and he's dancing on each rug and sliding on each rug. And the point where he does like a break dance move, he spins so fast. He spins so fast on a rug, it just cuts a hole in the floor. But like I said, I think Val Kilmer does his singing and dancing pretty well, I would say. Oh, and another moment we're speaking with another joke I didn't think was not funny though. Like where he's at the opera, right? And these ballerinas are like jumping on these other guy dancers, right? The male dancers. Like each one has a big boner, right? And each ballerina is jumping on top of each one of them and bouncing off to one or the other. I'm like, that I think it was not funny. I mean, ballerina dancing on each big boner, So there's a few jokes in this I didn't think was funny though, but there are more. I got more chuckles out of than the ones I didn't think was funny though. And then afterwards, I thought there was another well choreographed scene though, like when Val Kilmer was going after Nigel, right? And first they're fighting over the radio, changing each station. But then you get this really well done sequence where him and Nick and Nigel, they fall into the water off a bridge, and then you get a well done fight scene underwater. I mean, it's like they're perfectly standing underwater, and it's like an underwater saloon, right? Because you got cowboys sitting, right, and there's a bartender, right, cleaning, to clean the glasses, right, and they're both punching each other until when Val Kilmer punches Nigel out the window underwater, and then he disappears. And then Val Kilmer, he's like smiling. I mean, I think it was really well done. And like Of course, nowadays, this would be all green screen, though. It would be, no doubt about it, though. But it was well handled well. It was actually doing it underwater, physically underwater. But I was like, how they do the sequence, and it's like, wow. See Val Kilmer putting on the cowboy hat, and he's walking out those double doors like it is a saloon. And then afterwards, Val Kilmer and Lucy Gutteridge, they say goodbye to the remainings of the Resistance, and Val Kilmer wants Lucy and her dad, Michael Gough, to come with him to America. And which they do. They all get on the plane. They head to America, and the end. So I do think that Top Secret, I think it's still a fun comedy, and especially for a film like this that stars Val Kilmer back when he was starting out, which I thought I think I said he did a good job in the film. Like I said, especially when I think he did pretty good singing wise and dance wise. I think he did pretty good. But the rest of the cast, I mean, they all did fine too. Let's see, Michael Gough, like I said, Michael Gough and Val Kilmer together before they go and star as Batman and Alfred in Batman Forever. That's kind of like coincidental, you know. But let's see other familiar faces like Omar, Sharif, and Peter Cushing as well. I thought the directors, Jim Abrams, David, and Jerry Zucker, I think they all did a good job, right? Yeah, there were some jokes I didn't think it was funny though, but I got much more chuckles out of it than the ones I didn't think were funny. I will still say yes. I will still say I do put Airplane still above this. Yes, I do. I'll even put Airplane 2, the sequel. I'll even put this above this. Even Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2. Which Jim Abrams helped direct as well. I think those I think are still better than this though. But I will still say this film is a lot better than all the spoof films we got today that basically killed the genre. This is definitely a hell of a lot better than the spoof films like Date Movie, Disaster Film, Epic Movie, Meet the Spartacus, Meet the Blacks, The Starving Games, Vampires Suck. Like, this is still easily better than all those other shitty parody movies. Even better than Scary Movie 3 and 4 and 5 as well. Because it was the spoofs like that, that's what killed the genre. But it's just like this is still better than all those ones I said. But I still enjoy Top Secret, and I would say I haven't put the first Naked Gun above this as well. Because first of all, it's Leslie Nielsen, but the first Naked Gun I enjoyed, so I'll even put that film above this movie though. But still, I thought this was still a fun comedy, a parody, like I said, fun parody. Like I said, you don't see Val Kilmer do comedies like these afterwards. I mean, 2 years later, he would go and star in Top Gun with Tom Cruise. That was 86. This is 84. But I still think it was still a fun comedy, though. Top Secret, yeah. Shh, it is Top Secret. But it was cool to see Val Kilmer when he was starting off in his career doing a comedy like this. You know what? And he did a good job. Like I said, this film didn't do well box office wise though. But this is later become a classic though. I think even Weird Al said that this was his all-time favorite movie. Yeah, Weird Al Yankovic. I think he quoted that he said this was his all-time favorite movie. Huh. La 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 lasagna. Da, da, da. Yeah. So yeah, but Top Secret, fun comedy. I still enjoy the film. It was still better than the several parodies we got to today, definitely. But this is from the makers of Airplane, the directors of Airplane. They did a good job with the movie as well. So. Yep. So that is of Top Secret. If you're a fan of Val Kilmer or comedies like these, give this a watch. Top Secret. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next movie review. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.